Hoodie guy coming back here with another Kaspa video. So is altcoin season upon us? Well, it's going to take some more time, but right now it feels good because some of the alts are gaining. Bitcoin just pulled back from hitting a new all-time high right there. Some altcoins are making some good progress, but we need to see the market dominance fall further down. It got close to 66%, basically 66%. But you can see in November, after the election, we had 61% Bitcoin market dominance. It fell down to 55 in December, and it looked like there could have been, that was like a little mini altcoin season, but then it kept trudging up, and then you can see at 65%, it did go back down to 62. So we're going to need a pretty big dipperooski here before we really can see it confirmed. Last time altcoin season really hit, it went from 70% to 40% in November, and by April, so in about 4 or 5 months, it fell down pretty good. So we'll have to wait and see. It's nice though to see some alts gaining some traction. Hopefully Kaspa gets the hash rate going back up. I guess miners are just going offline, not as profitable, but if the price goes up, then hopefully that should help. And then, you got things like Cassia and stuff being built. And if that can help bring up some of the transaction fees, maybe we'll see the hash rate pushing back up. But you can see the last month, it's been from 900 petahash, just kind of slowly going down. Caspa to the moon. Jason, thanks for tuning in. What up? Perfect timing. Just clocked out. Nice. That means you just hit the best part of your day. And yep. So we just need to see, Caspa dominance the last week's up 3.85%. So really, that's what we'd like to see is Caspa's market dominance increase, outperform the market when altcoin season hits. So we just need a little more time to confirm if Bitcoin is really the market dominance is going to fall. It's a little too early to tell, but it's starting to dip back, and Bitcoin can go into price discovery, and altcoins can still gain some traction. Like you can see, they gained some traction today. And price cycle top indicator, whether this is going to be a right or not, just one of the ones I'm looking at. The 111-day moving average is moving north. It's 97,665, and I guess this was at July 8th, Tuesday. So I guess this is pretty up to date. And that was 97,000 back in 97,000 basically back in March, and then it started dipping down to 91,000. So yep, if in theory, once that orange line touches the green one, that could be a top. Now it might not. Now who knows? Is the Fed going to lower rates more? Obviously, we know Trump is pushing for that, but we don't know. But we do have the FOMC meeting July 29th, 30th. So if there is any rates lowered, that could lead to another leg up. What do you think about Q4 for top alts? I think that I could see Q4 having a nice run up for altcoins, or maybe that's where the top is. Sometimes with the alts is like Cardano peaked last time before Bitcoin, and then there's some altcoins that peaked a little bit after Bitcoin. Some peaked pretty close in that November of 2021. It's really hard to tell, but right now, I've seen people say that there could be an early cycle where it tops out in August or something. And then some people are, think that a normal cycle would be around October, November, potentially December. Q4 is typically when that happens. And then some people think it's going to spill into next year. Not going to be a super cycle, but maybe it's just a shorter bear market. So I don't know. It'll take time to confirm those, but I could see an October top, the Q4. Right now, it feels like, everything Bitcoin's been, over 100,000 for the couple months, pretty much, except for maybe 1 or 2 days. And basically been going sideways and building up a lot of strength. And if it gets the next leg up, it feels like we're getting close to altcoin season. Whether we're there yet, it's still a little too early to tell. But meanwhile, you got these big dogs. Like, I don't know who wallet number 3 is, but they got 390 million. It looks like when you go to the transactions, this one with 190 million CAS was from KuCoin wallet. So I don't know if it's KuCoin now. Let's look at the $200 million, 200. So both came from KuCoin. So I'm not sure. They had 400 million Kaspa. Now it's up there. So whether it's KuCoin or not, I'm not sure. But all those 390 million came from KuCoin. Wallet number 2, obviously 800. So, you have two big wallets that are getting close to, fairly close, relatively speaking, to Aquaman status. And so, yeah, they're loading up, whether it's, market maker, exchanges, we don't know. I'd have to dig more into wallet number 3, but that chunk there, that $31 million came from Caspa. And, $31 million for some people in crypto is not a lot of money for the bigger players. Doesn't BT dominance need to go to 70 before it drops? That's what it did last time, but I don't think that's what it needs to do. When you look here, obviously there was almost no altcoins back in like 14, 15, 16. What's interesting, you can see then it fell from 90% all the way down to 37%. It bottomed out though, but when you look at 2017 here, it bottomed out basically at the top of the market. It was there at, basically December of 2017 was the top of that market. So market dominance bottomed out at the top of the market. And then last time its market dominance topped out basically at the end of the bear market. And then the market dominance low, basically its market dominance here. So if you look at the 2018 cycle, its market dominance bottomed out at the peak of the market, and then this last time it peaked, or I mean, the lowest part was at the bottom of the bear market when it hit 40% there at October of 2022. So I know that some people think that it needs to hit 70%. I don't, it did that once. I guess it hit up 70% twice, but I don't know if that's really something that it has to do. Yeah, I think that I mean, it's possible that it does hit 70%, and I could still see it going up higher because Bitcoin's going to, feels like it's getting close to going on another leg up. What are the chances that wallet number 2 is Michael Saylor? I don't think it's very good. Winklevoss twins. I'd be more apt to think it's the Winklevoss twins or Gemini. Say Gemini, not the Winklevoss twins. I don't think. I don't know. Sailors. I mean, they're already up like $20 billion. I don't think. And they got all their preferred stock options and all that different stuff. Doesn't feel like Sailor really needs it. Maybe he's buying some. I don't think Sailor's got a big giant wallet. If he did, it feels like they'd have it broken up. I think they have their Bitcoin broken up into a lot of different wallets. Something about the Winklevoss twins would make a little bit more sense. I'm not saying it's them, but that could potentially be something because, it could be more of a Gemini. I think old good days with massive altcoin gain is gone. That's one possibility. Some people think since there's so many Bitcoin treasury companies and the Bitcoin ETFs that more liquidity stays in there. Time will tell, but we're going to get an altcoin season, and it's going to come hot and heavy, and it's not going to be around forever. And what's going to happen is when altcoin season comes, whether it's an amazing altcoin season, whether it's not as good one, people are just going to keep calling for higher and higher prices, and then all of a sudden it's just we're going to reach the top, and then the bottom will fall out. And so it's hard to predict because does Bitcoin have to go to 70% like it did last time? There's not enough data. It's not like there's multiple cycles. This is really, the first cycle when altcoin seasons came on, it was just kind of an outlier because it went from basically almost no altcoins to a bunch. And then last time it hit 70%. So we'll see. I don't think it's confirmed yet that we're there though for the altcoin season. If you draw a trend line on the current BTC DOM chart up to where it would meet 70%, that would take us to June of 2026. Wallet 2 better be Binance or Coinbase. Yeah, I've seen that. I know CryptoPumps is talking about how it could be DFW Labs, and there was a article about that, how they're a market maker that works with Coinbase and Binance. So that could be even potentially better because maybe they're working with multiple exchanges. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, hopefully I prefer the top to become before 2026, but we'll see. Um, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's all I got. Right now, it's nice. It's altcoins are gaining a little traction. It's nice that Bitcoin is getting close to being in price discovery. I mean, it looks like it might have hit there for a second, but it wasn't there for very long. So once Bitcoin's back in the price discovery, you can see fear and greed still at 52. Retail's not piled in. You can see ETH is almost at 2,800. So alts are gaining a little ground. They can lose that just as quick as they gained it. But it'll be nice. It's whatever it is, we're one day closer to altcoin season, whether that happens this month or next month or whatever, September. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about altcoin season, FOMC, and who Walt number 2 is. Thank you. Have a good day.